All right. How's everybody doing today? Appreciate you joining me. Let me ask you a question. How would you like to be Amber Heard right now? And today we're going to talk about how can Amber Heard protect her assets? That's a very interesting question, and we're going to talk about it today. Appreciate you joining me today. I am JR Dukes, your host. Welcome to the JR Dukes Law Channel. If you're watching live or if you're watching in the future, if you ever have any kind of question, you can always reach me at my direct email address, which is simply reachjrdukes@gmail.com, as you see on your screen right there. I am always here to help you. I love to talk about legal related questions, asset protection questions. We talk a lot about police encounters, how to deal with police on this channel. And if you're interested in this type of video, you have come to the right channel. So let's get right into it and let's talk about this particular situation. I want to break it down into three simple parts. Let's briefly review where we're at now, what has happened. Then we're going to get into basically two questions. The first question is going to be, will she have to pay this verdict? Will Amber Heard have to pay eventually? And then the second question is the main topic for today, which is how can Amber Heard protect her assets? And I got some very interesting ideas to share with you. CNN has reported after the verdict first came down, it says Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were both found liable for defamation in their lawsuits against each other on Wednesday, with a jury awarding them both damages. It's kind of a weird verdict, to be honest with you. The jury found both of them liable. I thought that was kind of odd, in the sense that it wasn't completely one side or the other. A lot of the talking heads on TV are basically saying, oh, this is a complete Johnny win. And guess what? It is. At the end of the day, it is definitely a Johnny Depp win. Amber Heard did win $2 million for a theory in law called agency, which is basically that an attorney of Johnny Depp's basically said in public something that defamed Amber Heard, which is very hard to prove to a jury, especially when Johnny Depp is a public figure and you have to prove actual malice. Obviously, Johnny Depp's attorneys were able to prove actual malice in relation to Amber Heard's defamation of Johnny Depp. Obviously, again, with Amber being recorded, with numerous people coming forward and talking about how she went after Johnny, how she constantly berated him, it's no wonder that actual malice was proven to this particular jury. Moving on, Depp sued Heard, his ex-wife, for defamation over a 2018 op-ed she wrote for the Washington Post, in which she described herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. And let me tell you, it's much more than domestic abuse. She framed herself not just as your typical domestic abuse individual. She said she was a victim of sexual abuse. She essentially accused him of very serious, felonious crimes. Make no mistake about it, this was an extreme defamation type of allegation. Though Depp was not named in the article, he claims it cost him lucrative acting roles. Heard countersued her ex-husband for defamation over statements Depp's attorney made about her abuse scams. We just talked about that. The jury began deliberating May 27th. After hearing more than 100 hours of testimony from witnesses, the jury found that Heard defamed Depp with 3 separate statements in the Washington Post piece, and Depp defamed Heard with 1 statement made by his attorney. Depp was awarded $10 million damages and $5 million in punitive damages, and Heard was awarded $2 million and no punitives. Punitive damages in the state of Virginia are capped at $350,000. So the judge had to adjust the award. If you take simple math of $10 million plus $3,500,000, you subtract that by $2 million. My math shows that Amber Heard owes Johnny an even $8,350,000. Yes, $8,350,000. And if you've been following the case and been following their saga for some time, you will realize that that is much more than the $7 million that Amber Heard was originally awarded by Johnny Depp in the divorce. If you have been watching one of my previous videos, I believe the math broke down that Amber Heard was awarded over $15,000 in the divorce settlement from Johnny Depp for each day that she was married to him. Not a bad payday, not a bad lucrative marriage on her part, notwithstanding this verdict that just came down. Depp sought $50 million in damages and Heard sought $100 million in damages. They both released statements after the verdict. Johnny Depp said, 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the life of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed. And all in the blink of an eye, false and very serious criminal allegations were leveled at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content. Although no charges were ever brought against me, I have already traveled around the world twice. Within a nanosecond, the news spread, and it basically impacted his life and his career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me back my life, and I am truly humbled, says Johnny. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. Basically, he goes on and he explains that he's very happy. He says that I will acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors. He's basically thanking everybody. Obviously, he's very, very happy. And he closes with, truth never perishes. So obviously, he's very happy, very elated, as I would imagine anybody in his situation would be. Amber Heard released a statement, and in part it says, the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I am even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore the evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I held as an American to speak freely and openly. We all have a freedom of speech. However, defamation is not a right that we have. You simply cannot defame somebody and not pay a cost if they choose to sue you for that defamation. This particular video that I'm making, I don't want to rehash the case. It's been talked about many, many times by many, many people, and frankly, it's kind of beat to death. I want to specifically talk about this from a different angle, and the angle I want to come from is asset protection. Whether you like Amber Heard, and frankly, it looks like a lot of people are on Johnny Depp's team, and that's fine. I am also a Johnny Depp supporter in this situation. I definitely think that both of these individuals have problems, and it is clear to me that Amber Heard probably got what she deserved. Having said that, the facts of the matter are we can all learn a lesson from this particular case, and that lesson is you never know in your life when you might have a claim come against you that literally can jeopardize your ability to take care of yourself, take care of your children, take care of your loved ones. You have to remember, and this is what I want to talk about, Amber Heard is a mother. I believe she has one minor child that she's responsible for, and she is in serious jeopardy of losing her ability to take care of her daughter, especially to the extent that she has been taking care of herself and her daughter. And that is essentially what I want to drill into a little bit with you right now. So basically, is she going to have to pay this verdict? And the short answer is yes. And let me tell you why. A lot of people will basically say, and actually I had two people contact me asking, can she just simply declare bankruptcy? No, she cannot declare bankruptcy and erase this debt. And the reason for that, to put it in layman's terms, is that the federal bankruptcy code is written in such a way that it expressly and specifically does not allow someone to come forward in a bankruptcy petition and erase this type of claim that a jury has awarded against you, because it involves fraud. It involves deceit. It involves an intentional fraudulent act. And because of that, she cannot erase this debt in bankruptcy court. Personally, I think that bankruptcy should erase all debts if you are forced to take that type of road. Even the Bible, which a lot of our laws are based on, states that after 7 years you should forgive your neighbor's debt. It is the case, not to put it too mildly, that this equates to a financial death penalty for Amber Heard. A financial death penalty. This is the same thing in a criminal context as sending someone to the electric chair. This jury has sent Amber Heard's entire financial estate to the electric chair to be cooked. That's not an exaggeration on my part. That's not an overstatement. It's the truth. Now, what could Amber Heard do now to help protect herself? Now, again, I want to be clear. I'm just completely speculating. I don't know nothing about Amber Heard's situation, her finances. I don't have any inside information that's not published in public reports. But assuming that this is a judgment of $8.35 million and she does not have $8.35 million, assuming that she probably lives in California, where the Hollywood people all live. California is definitely not known as what we would call an asset protection friendly state. We're going to assume those facts and evidence, if you will, and we're going to talk about what Amber Heard could do. Now, you have heard me state on many of my videos that it is absolutely critical for asset protection that you take measures to protect your assets before you need the protection. Before you need the protection. The sooner you take asset protection seriously and you sit down with an attorney and you come up with a plan, the better off you're going to be. And if you don't have an asset protection plan, just a simple, basic asset protection strategy, you need to reconsider your decisions. All of us in our lives have a really good chance of being sued at some point in our lives. Our great country of the United States has over 2 million attorneys that are licensed, and they are very excited and very happy to find what we call a deep pocket defendant and drag you into court and try to take everything they can. And based on the number of lawsuits that are filed every year, you have a real good chance at some point in your life you could find yourself in a situation not unlike Amber Heard's situation. So please take this as a wake-up call if you don't have any kind of asset protection plan, and get with a good lawyer that focuses on asset protection. I would not recommend a general lawyer, let's say a general practitioner. You need somebody that advertises asset protection, somebody that says, hey, I'm an asset protection attorney. That's what I do day in and day out. Look at their reviews online. Check and make sure they're in good standing with the state bar in your particular state. Go ahead and sit down with them for a consultation. Check out a few lawyers and then make a decision and use one of these lawyers to put yourself in a state where you can rest easy at night knowing that you have a strategy in hand. Again, Amber Heard's situation, let's say she lives in California. She is not in a good place. Here's what I would do. I would do the following. I would move to Florida if I was Amber Heard. The reason I would move to Florida and quietly move to Florida is because, among other issues, Florida is the best state in our union, the best place in the world. Florida is the most friendly debtor jurisdiction in the world. You heard that right. The most friendly debtor jurisdiction in the world. If you are hurting because of a judgment, if you had been kicked in you know what, if you had an experience in court and ended up losing and having a big judgment taken against you, you need to seriously consider moving to Florida. Amber Heard can move to Florida, again, quietly, end up buying in cash a nice big home, what we call a homestead. There's two types of homestead here in Florida. There's one that's for tax related matters pertaining to your house. And then there is the homestead that is in the Constitution in the state of Florida. And because it's in the Constitution, it is the highest law of the land here in Florida. She can simply buy a nice big home. There are some restrictions as far as how big the home can be, as far as the size of the land. However, the home can be of an unlimited value. Yes, you heard it right. If you have $10 million, you can come to Florida, buy a $10 million property, move into it right then and there, make yourself an immediate, permanent Florida resident, and you are 100% protected, and nobody can take that property from you. I want to be clear, there are some exceptions for bankruptcy. As long as you avoid bankruptcy court, you're going to be just fine. I'll have some more thoughts to share about this in a few videos coming in the near future because I don't want to make this stream too long. But that is exactly what Amber Heard needs to do. So Amber, if you're listening, Amber, come to Florida. Give me a call, girl. Actually, don't call me. Send me an email, and I will happily point you to an attorney right here in Florida that I have used personally for myself. This individual is the best attorney, in my opinion, for asset protection. I don't mind going ahead and telling you who he is. The name of the firm is the Alper Law Firm. I have used this individual. It's a father-son duo, and they are fantastic. If you need a link, I will try to include one in the description. Otherwise, hit me with an email, and I'll be happy to get back to you on that. Another couple quick tidbits about Florida. So, Amber, you come here to Florida. You buy yourself a nice home that's protected. Johnny's not going to be able to get your home, even though you have a judgment against you. It doesn't matter. Most people would be concerned by what we call a fraudulent conveyance, which is, it sounds criminal, but it's not. It's just civil. Basically, in a fraudulent conveyance situation, if you give money away to individuals, a lot of people give it away to their kids thinking that that is going to have a positive impact as far as saving money, which it's not going to have. This fraudulent conveyance is basically where you give money away that you shouldn't give away because you have creditors. To make a long story short, a creditor can drag you back into court and a judge will reverse whatever you did. So, for example, if you give, in a lot of states, if you buy a house and you sink a bunch of cash into it, and say you put it in someone else's name, a judge, upon petition by the creditor, will simply say, no, 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 we're going to undo this, and we're going to order the house sold or transferred to the judgment creditor. If you don't come to Florida, you can't do a lot of the asset protection stuff that I talk about on my channel. So, Amber, come on down to Florida. Another couple things I want to mention is because you do have a child, you can protect, if your child's a dependent of you, you can protect your earnings. And it can be an unlimited amount of earnings. So you got a big movie coming up. No problem. You can protect those earnings that are being paid to you because you have a minor child that you're supporting. Again, I have videos on this subject, and I have a real high likelihood that I'll be making some other videos in the very near future. Also, in Florida, your retirement accounts are fully protected. IRAs, the ERSA, the ISRAs accounts, the disability income. Now, we don't have a huge amount of equity in vehicles that Florida exempts under the law, but it doesn't matter. There's other ways around that. And again, I don't want to make this video too long. The main thing is you need to make sure you have a house for your daughter. You need to make sure you can take care of your daughter. You need to make sure that you have a place to call home. So, Amber, get your ass to Florida. That's exactly what you need to do. Don't forget to hit me up if you have any questions or comments. I always enjoy reading your emails and responding to your questions. So, at any rate, if you need to reach me, my email address is always available for you on the screen at reachjrdukes@gmail.com. My friends, I do appreciate you joining me today. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when my videos and things come out. Always, always, my friends, remember to have that free mind and never give up. I am JR Dukes.